I love redoing my resume. Said no one ever. And when you are staring into the abyss of a resume rewrite, that is enough to keep you in your seat regardless of how miserable you are every single day. So welcome to reason number 6 in our series of 15 reasons why job hunting feels so hard and 45 ways to make it fun again. And I know this sounds absolutely insane, but I'm going to show you a few ways today where actually rewriting your resume can be fun, or at least not suck. So let's talk about really the purpose of a resume to begin with, because it fascinates me that the clients that I talk to, almost 100% of them, the very, very first thing that they care about is their resume. Now, I get it. That is your front piece. It's going to be what everybody's looking for. You know, it's what everybody talks about. But if you don't know exactly where you want to focus your job search, and you don't know exactly what your key points of differentiation are and what your competitive advantage is, you can have the most beautiful resume in the whole wide world, and it's still not going to get you the job that you want. So that being said, let's assume you've done the work. My rant is over, and let's assume you've done that work and you are ready to get out there and to compete. But your resume is a piece of crap, and it is just hasn't been touched in years, or if it has been, it's just not sexy and it doesn't do any of the things that you want it to do. And so here are the things that I want you to think about in terms of how to take that stress out of resume writing, how to take the debilitating, like put you in your tracks and keep you in your seat type of situation, and just start to move forward and take action. So the first point of view that should take the pressure off of resume writing is your resume should not memorialize everything you've ever done. That is not what a resume is for. But it should be a summary of all the cool things and of all the impact that you've made. So a lot of times we're like, what goes in, what goes out, what do I include, how do I say it, all of those things. And so when you go back and you look at each of those roles, there's 3 things that you really want to think about, right? You want to think about your span of control, right? So how big and how complicated was the situation you were in? And then what impact did you deliver in terms of leadership? And what results did you deliver in terms of business results? So it's not every nook and cranny. And it should only have the things in there that you want to do again. Because if you've got a bunch of stuff in there that you hate doing and you're going to take credit for it on your resume, guess what? You're going to get job offers for doing all the stuff you hate to do again. So keep that in mind. The other thing that you want to think about is job hunting and landing your next job and having a career that just excites you does not start and end with your resume. And I would argue that your resume is the least important part of all of the assets that you need to put together to demonstrate your viability as a candidate. Your LinkedIn profile is probably the most important thing that you can have. It is the first place everybody looks. We've talked about this before. LinkedIn is crucial. And also, not enough people leverage the use of a bio. So when you're networking and you're out there talking to people and they say, send me your resume, that is the last thing you should do. Because you're sending your resume in for something that you don't even know if there's a job, what the job is for, and you don't want to immediately disqualify yourself before you even get started. So when you're in these networking conversations and they say, send me your resume, I'll send it around the firm, send them your bio instead. It's shorter, it's much more interesting, and it's definitely not going to disqualify you. It'll only build that intrigue so they want to know more. So make sure that you understand that it's not a one-stop shop with just your resume. You need to have, a razor-sharp LinkedIn profile and a really fun bio that gets people excited and interested to know you. And then the third way you can take the soul-crushingness out of resume writing is that your entire resume needs to demonstrate value. And so when you think about, okay, what did I deliver? And unless you're in sales, it's really hard to figure out what the impact was sometimes if you're not in that revenue generating role. But whenever you think about something that you've done, I want you to finish the sentence with the words, so that. Because when you think about it, your resume is just an impact statement. It's a giant impact statement. And so if you said, I managed 3,000 people through a crisis, okay, if you put a period at the end of that sentence, that gives me an idea, but it doesn't make me excited. right? But when you say I managed 3,000 people through a crisis so that we were able to get back online and, get all our homeless shelters up and running in the next, within a day, now that's an impact. So I want you to think about the so what in everything that's on your resume. And so if you don't have a so what to one of your bullets, get rid of it. It's not going to do you any good. So in terms of taking out the terror of writing a resume and the uncertainty and what goes in and all that kind of fun stuff, it doesn't have to hurt as much as people make it out to be. And so remember that your resume should not be a War and Peace novel on everything you've done. It's just a summary of all the things that you've been a part of and all the cool things and the impact that you've made. The second thing is, don't think that you're done with your resume, because first of all, that's not the most important thing. You've got a LinkedIn profile and a bio that you need to create that are really, really cool. And there's fun ways to do that. And then last but not least, make sure that all of the information in that resume has a big impact, a so what. So I did this so that the company could get this. I did this or we did this so that the company could achieve that. You want to make sure that you've got both sides of that equation. What did you do? And why is it better because of that? So hopefully these 3 things are going to help get you motivated to get moving on that resume. And I wanted to make sure that you know that, 81% of the people that I polled on LinkedIn said they are in a job they don't love because job hunting is too much of a hassle. And I get it. And this is a big part of the hassle, is looking at that resume and thinking, I don't want to have to do this. I totally feel you on that. But what if it wasn't so hard? And what if it didn't take so long? And what if you could actually have fun doing these resumes and all your outreach and all the things that you need to do, so that way you have a career that gets you jumping out of bed on Monday morning and excited to contribute and make a big impact? I know you want that for yourself. I don't know how anybody wouldn't want that for themselves. So if you're sick and tired of settling for second best, click the link in this post. Check out our programs, get into the community, and let us help you move further and faster so you can get on that career track and have that lifestyle that you know you want. So thanks again for watching today. I will be back with the next session tomorrow. See you then.